We follow a teenage girl named June, who has recently moved to the city with her mother. Now, her mother is a painter, and sadly, her father passed away years ago. June also had a brother who died 2 years prior. Every single morning, before anything else, she stands in front of his photograph and gazes into his eyes for a quiet moment. That morning, just like every other, she says her silent goodbye to her brother's photo and then makes her way to her new school. It's this super elite institution filled with the children of wealthy merchants and government officials. The very moment she steps into the courtyard, two well-dressed, polished students call out to her, Amelia and Blaze, both from incredibly affluent families. With just one glance at June's plain, understated appearance, they grab her arm without any preamble and begin walking her rapidly through the school, introducing her to every corner of the place. Along the way, June's gaze involuntarily locks onto a strikingly handsome boy. Amelia is quick to say, "James Hunter, stay away from him." You see, James has two reputations at school, playboy and street fighter. And somehow, despite all of it, everyone really respects him. In class, Professor Alex asks June to introduce herself. She sits down in the first empty seat she finds, next to a quiet, shy boy named Will, who carries an intelligent, observant gaze. Just then, James walks in and rudely demands that June get out of his seat. Alex shuts him down immediately and orders James to sit elsewhere. When Professor Alex asks about the theme of a famous poem, June answers without hesitation. Will, who hadn't expected that at all, feels something stir inside him. During the break in the courtyard, Will quietly approaches June, sets a cup of hot coffee in front of her, and compliments her literary knowledge. But the moment Will heads back to class, a small incident throws everything off. June accidentally spills the coffee on James's shirt as he passes by. James, absolutely furious, drags June into the boys' restroom and threatens her. She has to wash his shirt, right then and there. That night throws us straight into chaos. June walks into a nightclub in a stunning red dress, a venue that actually doubles as an underground fighting ring. Will finds her almost immediately, entirely captivated. He apologizes for James's earlier behavior, noting they've been close friends since childhood. Suddenly, the main event begins, and the reigning champion is none other than James. He takes down his brutal opponent with absolute authority. Afterward, Will brings June over, openly confessing to James that he really likes her. Meanwhile, June spots a syringe in a nearby trash can, instantly flaring her suspicion. But James's trainer, Austin, blocks her path before she can investigate. Later on, June's eyes wander the room and find Will deep in conversation with a girl. Amelia leans in quietly to drop a bomb. That's Diana, his ex. The next day, Will takes June on a romantic walk through one of Milan's historic landmarks. They talk about dreams, passions, and life. Will mentions his friendship with James, saying sometimes his behavior is painful to deal with, but when everyone else walks away, he stays. James has this pull that draws any girl in. June scoffs immediately. To me, he's just an arrogant, self-absorbed jerk. Right at that exact moment, Will kisses her. From that second on, they are officially together. True to her promise to her mother, June later heads to Jordan's house to babysit his young son, Jasper. The connections here are honestly shocking. In front of his father, Jasper is polite, well-mannered, and all smiles. But the second Jordan leaves, his real nature comes out. Then comes an even bigger twist. Jasper is actually James's little brother. Over lunch, Jordan opens up about his life. He divorced his first wife a long time ago. A few months after the divorce, she remarried a reckless man. And now she's been checked into a psychiatric hospital. Hearing this, James just explodes. The tension escalates so rapidly from here. As they prepare to leave for another party, June surprises James by revealing she used to be a professional rider, taking the wheel of his motorcycle. At the venue, James is scheduled to fight again. June watches anxiously as Austin injects something into James before the match. When she questions it, James simply snaps at her to mind her own business. The night takes a real dark turn when June is cornered by a man attempting to assault her, who turns out to be James's upcoming opponent. Fortunately, Will and James arrive just in time to intervene. Austin, however, unjustly blames June for the incident, scolding her. As the chaotic night ends, Will asks June to help him walk a heavily intoxicated James back home. Back in her room that night, June is caught between two directions. Will is warm, kind, and attentive, but her mind keeps drifting back to James. A message arrives from him, bold, suggestive, a blatant invitation. She tries to ignore it at first. Then the voice messages come, one after another, full of tender, intoxicating words. Slowly, June gives in to a feeling she can no longer control. The next morning at school, James approaches June with a smirk, throwing the previous night in her face to mock her. June, feeling humiliated, fires back that he shamelessly tried to come between her and Will. Her words definitely hit a nerve. He claims she isn't worthy of his friends, but the hidden truth, he was testing her loyalty to Will. During the break, the plot thickens. Austin calls James to arrange an immediate underground rematch at an abandoned building. Before the fight, as always, Austin injects something into James, but this time the reaction is terrifyingly different. His adrenaline shoots to the ceiling. After barely holding his emotions together to win, a wave of nausea and intense itching sweeps through his entire body. June, who is present in the crowd, rushes right to his side. The symptoms are immediately tragically familiar to her. With a trembling voice, she says, "My brother died because of this." Tears gather in her eyes. Then she spots Austin, and every ounce of grief and rage she's been holding back pours out all at once. So the crucial point is, the fallout begins immediately. Will suddenly receives a message from an unknown number, intimate photos of James and June. Jealousy floods him, and that night, he drinks himself into a stupor, taking out his despair on Diana. While Will spirals, James and June finally confront the feelings that have been growing in their hearts. That night, for the very first time, they speak openly about a love that quietly took root from their very first glance. Just as they are about to kiss, Danny arrives breathless. Will had a seizure. It turns out Will suffers from epilepsy, forcing James to immediately send June home. But when June gets home, Austin is waiting in the dark. Her mother is out of town, meaning she's completely alone. Austin coldly warns her to stop interfering in James's life, or he won't hesitate to harm her and her mother. Then, he reveals one more chilling detail. He is actually James's godfather. After Austin leaves, the doorbell rings again. It's James. Shaken by the threat, June says nothing. Instead, they stay up talking, uncovering the shadows of James's past. Raised by absent parents, his profound loneliness led to a fierce, protective loyalty to Will, especially after Will spiraled following his breakup with Diana. James had vowed to protect Will from any woman who got too close, a vow he feels he has now broken with his own hands. He knows his heart has landed in the wrong place, but the storm raging inside him is beyond his control. June feels the exact same way. That night, in the quiet dark, the two of them finally come together. In the morning, James spots a cigarette butt in June's courtyard and pieces it together. Austin threatened her. He immediately calls Austin, warning him that if he touches her again, he'll have him arrested. The drama quickly shifts to Amelia's birthday party that night. Will receives another anonymous message. This time, even more explicit photos of James and June. Simultaneously, digitally altered photos of the two of them spread to everyone's phones at the party. The laughter dies. Heavy silence, whispers, and cold stares crush June from every direction. James, terrified his selfishness has made her a target, pulls her away to his place, apologizing endlessly. But June remains quietly resilient. She tells him, "This isn't the time to blame each other. The love that's grown in both of us isn't a mistake. It's just a test on the way to something real."
Elsewhere, the truth unravels. Blaze discovers Amelia's phone and realizes she was the one who leaked the photos. Meanwhile, Austin's cunning trap is a totally calculated sequence. Step 1, he works on Will's bubbling jealousy. Step 2, he pushes Will to publicly challenge James to a fight. Step 3, Austin relies on the fact that James won't fight back out of loyalty. And Step 4, Will, burning with resentment, will unleash everything he has.
Blaze finds June and tells her everything, and they rush to the nightclub. Amelia tries to block June at the door, but June doesn't slow down for a second. She lands a sharp, decisive hit on Amelia and walks right past. Inside, the chaos unfolds rapidly. Austin's plan works flawlessly. James refuses to fight back while Will keeps striking. June throws herself between them, but security locks her in a room. By minute 5, she finds the alarm button and presses it, sending everyone into a panic. By minute 8, Austin and his men drag a badly beaten James into a car and speed off. June grabs a motorcycle and desperately gives chase. She deliberately draws the attention of the police, needing them to witness Austin's crimes. But Austin's crew escapes, leaving James trapped inside the vehicle, and the car is on fire. June fights the flames with absolutely everything she has. Will arrives and joins her. Together, they pull James out. From that moment forward, Will understands something he hadn't before. Love cannot be forced. He releases June. Not out of indifference, but because he has come to understand that love sometimes means letting go. It means placing the happiness of someone you love above your own desires. And there is something else he absolutely refuses to lose:
his years of profound friendship with James.